All right then, let's go. What's going on, champs? Hope you guys doing well. Welcome to another episode of Dank's Daily Trades, really. So we're gonna look at Bitcoin, dollar index, ES, Ethereum. We're just trying to squeeze in a couple of alts here and there. Not disclaimer really. Well, disclaimer obviously is nothing's financial advice. But as a quick warning for all of you guys there itself, is that I've been DM'd by a couple of groups. One of them is called Mr. Monster Pump on Twitter. I don't think that I forgot what the Twitter name is, but on Telegram you can find them there. It's not a shout out to these guys there, but it's a pump and dump, right? And they wanted me to be a part of the pump and dumps for that. And for me personally, that's not what I do. That's not who I am. It's not my branding itself. I don't do pump and dumps. I don't do any of that shit. Some of these influencers that you are aware who are playing the good shoes right now were involved in pump and dumps in 2017, 2018. They were very notorious for losing a lot of people's money. Like, people, because how it works is, let's just say, for example, there's like 50 of us, right? Or a small circle of 20 people in there. And we'll all say, yo, let's just go and buy a coin and let's pump the shit out of it. And we have we have a Telegram group, for example, with like 10,000 followers or whatever, 20,000 followers. Now you guys don't know what's going on behind the scene, and what they do is they already buy in, right? Let's say, for example, Axis, right? Axis is an example which actually pumped up. Bring up Axis up, and I'll just show it to you. What the fuck is it? Did have it here, right? So if I just bring this up here, as you can see, this on the 1 hour, these guys over here would have already been accumulating down there, right? And what they would say is, for example, is like they will buy in so much money of Axis between themselves, right? Between these 10 or 20 people there, and they will have an announcement on the Telegram to actually pump it up. And by the time it gets pumped up, kind of thing as well, like, well, this is a very, I mean, this happened over a period of time. I'm just giving this an example there. By the time you actually start pumping up, and then you guys actually know it, they're taking profits. So they're taking profits on a probably like a 2x or 3x stuff like that. So if they put in $5,000 in beforehand, they're dumping on $10,000. So, and that's just one person. There's many people. The group in particular. Again, there's a few of them. I'm not gonna actually promote them. It's not my style. But I thought I'd just let you guys know it is fucking dangerous. Be very careful there. One geezer said to me, like, he will give me a heads up on what coin it is 2 hours before. No, sorry, not 2 hours. 10 minutes before the call. He goes, do not buy more than $2,000 for it. Just in case, because you're pumping up the coin before it even happens. So that's dangerous. That's really dangerous for what they're doing as well. So be very careful. Another one was what was it called again? Profile. That happened yesterday actually. Lit was one. Someone asked about Lit yesterday, so I just charted it for them yesterday. So Lit, you see that? There we go. That this kind of spike up is not natural. So if you go on like, let's go on the 5 minutes, right? You can see that's not a natural pump, right? You see in 5 minutes it pops up really high up, and they're taking profits here, and they may have been buying over here this area for like 90 cents, maybe a bit lower beforehand anyway, because they would have planned this out a couple of days before, because they look at some dead coins, see where the low volatility is, and then what they see is, okay, this is the range bound environment. This is where price is actually ranging itself. We know from a level to level base, this will be acting as resistance, and it does do that afterwards. When we get this fast spike up over here, and then the fast spike down, that's not fucking normal. You've seen these spikes up happen over and over again. And the key thing here, quite interesting on this one, if I show you on, let's go, just quickly chat about this before we carry on. This was a range bound environment that I actually talked about this is June's range. And you see how fast that spike up? That's not normal there. So, but we know we're at the mid range. So what do we say? We play from high to low, low to high, high back to low. And we grind back up into the mid range. We're expecting a mid range to act as resistance, particularly this particular area here, this area there. That's where you'd be acting for. Let's just say, yeah, this area here. This area here, you'd be acting looking for resistance. And what you've got is a fast fucking spike up, which was a natural. I don't know if you guys remember when I was charting yesterday. I'm like, I don't really have a clear read on this actually, to take a short on this, because it's just too much of a fast spike, and they're fucking dangerous. Don't get involved in this. It's the fastest way to lose money, because when you're buying into it, right? So there's going to be hundreds, like thousands of people buying into these coins, and you can end up bag holding. Don't do it. Don't bother with it. If you want to make money, just make money the proper way. It takes a little while. I know it takes a long time, but don't risk it. There's been a lot of mess going on in crypto as a whole. We had the Luna debacle. We had FTX situation going on. Now we've got, you know, pumps and dumps going on around us. So also be very careful. What I would say to you guys, is literally, if you were to find a pump right like this, look to short it down. Just look to short it down. And we talked about it yesterday. And I was discussing, right. I think I can't remember where it was. You guys can see the video, but look at the 1 minute, man. The 1 minute is just fucking unnatural. Just look at that. This is just the 1 minute. You can tell right here was where they started selling off in this area. They were getting rid of their bags from there. So if they bought in around like 90 cents, they were quite happy with like a good 10% pump. And 5 grand out of that, for example, or 10 grand out of that, is basically an extra grand, right? So an extra grand they're taking out profits there, and then you guys are buying into here, this fast spike up there, and then, like, you know, more people are selling out, and then the other guys who bought over here are selling much more, and that's why you get that fast wick on the 1 minute. That's not fucking normal. So be very careful, be safe, don't do anything stupid. I don't want to hear anyone losing more money as then they already have. Look, a lot of people lost their money. They're holding their money in FTX, and that's right, and you know, that's disappeared. So I don't want you guys to actually go in any further situation. And it was happening in 2017. I remember in 2018. Listen to this now. 2018 bear market as well. Probably around, it was after the April pump, so probably around like August time. It was really quiet, and I was searching around on Twitter, and I came across like this not on Twitter, on Telegram. I don't know how I came across this, like a pump and dump group, and like I was like, alright, cool. So I joined in myself. I was like, let me see how it is. And I remember I put my funds, and they put me in some shitty ass exchange as well. They say it's gonna be in this exchange or some dead ass exchange. The transfer money was a pain in the ass, and I transferred money, and I was like, yeah. And it took time. It took a long time to actually process it, right? I think it was about like because they announced it about 2-3 hours before that there's gonna be a pump on this exchange, and they'll announce it when which coin it is. And what happened is the geezers. Oh yeah, so I transferred my money over, like Ethereum over, and it took so long, so I never got in to buy in. And I remember watching this. I watched it, and like the fucking spike up was unnatural. And I remember it was crazy, and he went up like a good like 30%, stuff like that kind of thing, something along the lines of that. And within 5 minutes, it was all within 5 minutes, it was over. It was done. Like it was completely like finished as well. So whoever pumped it over here may have pumped it from like 11 o'clock. Let's say like 11:10. By the time you get to this here, that's 20 minutes of pump, and then back to like where it was to 11 o'clock is like 1 hour. So by the time you're picking onto this, because not everyone's going to be sitting on the Telegram and you know, get to jump on board. But remember, you're not jumping on board. Crypto is a cutthroat world. Everyone's here to take your money. Everyone's here to fuck you over. That's the truth. That's the honest truth here. I mean, why am I saying this to you guys? Is because I've actually been through it as well. I've seen it happen. What's the point of actually seeing other people go through the same shit that I went through? If I don't tell you guys, and if I don't even give you a heads up, I think that's just a really shitty part from my heart, right? Isn't it? Like, you'd be like, this guy's a dickhead. It's not even actually giving us any fucking value. Like, okay, he's just trying some shit like that, but at least tell us the reality of how ugly crypto is. And it's a fucking horrible world. It is really horrible. Crypto can be the most disgusting thing you'll see. A lot of people, I've seen some of these fucking quotes, man, like messages and shit like that, and Reddit and stuff like that, where people had like 500,000 from their like their grandparents' savings and stuff like that, and like they it was, I think it was like inheritance or some shit like that, 500,000, bro, and had it all on FTX. He built it up to from 500,000 to about like something like 3-4 million, he was saying, and he just left it there. Or he'd just leave it there and play it back and come back in the next bull run. He thought, I'll make the 3-4 million back into like another 10-20x or some shit like that. Left it on FTX, which was, you think it's the safest thing to do, and I'll come back to FTX afterwards. And what happened is the whole FTX situation happened. He lost all his money, and that's horrible. That's really horrible. When I see shit like that, it does boil my blood in it, because one thing is, right, number one, like it's not like the FTX situation wasn't like it was like the world got scammed, like evidently beforehand. It wasn't like that. No one actually knew this was gonna happen. This came out of nowhere. It just a completely random thing as well. And but like when you go through but that's one thing that it was pretty much out of everyone's power, right? By the time people realized, okay, this is not looking good, and you would try to withdraw your funds, it was already blocked out, and that's what happened there to a lot of people on FTX. But like the scam pump and dump, they call them, right? Is literally one of those situations where you yourself have control to actually evade that. So if anyone actually advise you, yo, join this group if you want to make a quick buck, there's no such thing as a quick buck. There's no such thing. Like whoever told you like crypto was a quick buck, well, you've learned the hard way. There's no such thing as a quick buck. It doesn't happen like that. Crypto is like any other work, any other market. It is volatile. It is dangerous. It is fucking. It can destroy you, right? You can make you as a king in 1 minute, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you got fucked over. And that's the ugly truth about crypto. But that's what happens when you actually join in quite late. So depending on where you join, if you join in like freaking towards mid 2021 or late 2021, it's coming to the end. So like yeah, you see these coins pump up like 100x and stuff like that, and you're in the mind frame of, yeah, you can do another 100x. You learn now today recently that there's no such thing as another 100x. Okay, so that's my little rant that talk to you guys about that. So let's just move on now. Okay, cool. Let's do the morning shout. Let's see who we got here. Smash up the likes, everybody, man. Show me some love, man. Who we got? Let's go. We got Daink Country Club. We got Hoto. What? We got Jordan. What's going on, brother? Justin's in the house. Ed, Derry, Guna's in the house. Or Joe Crate, Raphael, my bro. Your GP, Punit is here too as well. Sirhat, good to have you here too again. Anglo, my man. Gandalf is here. Yasin Salat. Do you roll your cigarettes? Yeah, bruv. I roll cigarettes. Do you know what it is? I tell you something is weird. I prefer roll-ups over ciggies, right? Honestly, I prefer roll-ups over ciggies. When I was like in college, right? Actually, in secondary school, I started smoking. I couldn't afford cigarettes in it, so the only thing I could afford was roll-ups. And so there's two things. Number one, I prefer roll-ups because it tastes nicer, and I like the second thing as well is like it's a memory for me as well, because when I had nothing in life, right? I had nothing but my cigarettes to keep me happy. That was like my company in it. Like when you want to be alone kind of thing. Those who smoke know what I'm talking about. Those who don't smoke. But I mean, it's fun. I'm joking. It's not fun. Don't smoke. Kids, don't smoke. But yeah. So like roll-ups was one of those things when I was really poor and whatnot. In school, college, even at uni as well. I was working, but like even when you're working, those who actually went to uni and college and start working as well, like was living away from home and whatever, you realize how hard it is. It's really, really tough as well. So I was still smoking roll-ups then. And even when I became I became qualified in my profession, I was still smoking roll-ups. And I remember Trader NJ, I was at his yard. I just qualified. I was making some really good money as well in the first month. I made some beautiful money in the first month. I remember Trader NJ, I was at his yard. I think it was in December. No, September. Because we had a little housewarming for another family member, and I remember like I went outside for a cigarette, and NJ was with me. He was like, "Fam, you still smoking roll-ups?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "But don't you make money?" I go, "Yeah, but like, what's wrong?" He goes, "Fam, stop being a poor bastard." He literally said to me, "You're being poor." I go, No. You don't understand. It's not about being poor. It reminds me of where I came from. I came from nothing. No matter where I am today, whether I have a couple of billions, a couple of millions, or couple of 100Ks, or even 10K, or whatever, or even a couple of $100, right? It was a lot more than I actually had when I started smoking. It was a lot more. So when I actually roll these cigarettes, it's always like a subconscious thing to actually humble me up. That's what it is, really. I mean, I smoke like cigarettes from time to time, like on special occasions. I buy cigarettes. When I go duty free in Dubai, I always buy cigarettes. I can't wait to have my roll-ups as well. So yeah, who else we got? We got Stanley in the house. We got Jordan, Biggie. We got Deer on the track. We got Atom, TCX, Curtis. We got a gang of people here, man. John Caboose, Morning Stars here. Smash the likes, everyone. Most of the influencers will promote this scam pump. Not most. Nah. I wouldn't say most. I mean, like the ones who are desperate. All right, we're all desperate right now. It's true. We are desperate in crypto. But let's be honest, man. Like, there's no such thing as a quick buck. You can't make a quick buck in crypto. It doesn't exist. The only time you can make a quick buck is in a bull market. And in the bear market, the quick buck you have to leverage short the trade out of it. That's what you got to do. That's the only way to make a buck out of it. Otherwise, there's no such thing as a couple of minutes here and there and I make a couple of grands. Nah, fam. Just don't be dumb. So we got Sidium's in the house. Vegeta, man, I haven't seen you for a long fucking time, bro. Where you been, man? Fucking died of some shit. Gandalf, it's good you're touching on this topic. Most people don't know there are a lot of crypto analytics channels on YouTube that do this. If you look at some of the big channels now, it's 100% Gandalf is true. Like some of these big guys, right, was involved in these crypto scam pumps. You know, the pump and dumps. They were down for it as well back then, and now they're playing the good. I'll give you an example. Zach XBT. I mean, you guys have an opinion of him as well. I have an opinion of him. Some of you guys might think he's a dickhead. Some of you guys might think he's a great man. Look what he's doing. I respect what he's doing in terms of actually. Let me just chat to you guys. I respect what he's doing in terms of exposing like the truth and whatnot. But he was involved in it. He was caught out. You know, like it was screenshots. There was a whole beef on this shit. It's always the ones who actually play the good game. It's always the one. Like I'm not saying like I'm a good guy and whatever. I've done some fucked up shit myself back in the days. Not in crypto. I've never been involved in scam pumps stuff like that. I've been involved in private sales and I've been involved in pumping my own bags in it because look if I buy fucking like BNB for example, of course I'm gonna tweet about it. If I buy a bag of I don't know like XRP, of course I'm gonna tweet about it. I want it to pump up as well. We're all guilty of that, but some of those are much more guilty than ever. So if you guys remember yesterday, we talked about community in it, and like this community like. These leaders are scamming their own community. They don't really believe in their project kind of thing as well. And like some do. I'm not saying I think the most aren't. But look at the ones who had massive communities back then. They had huge communities back in 2021. Now the market's the bear market. What happened to the community? Where's the activity about that certain coin? You know, where's the activity about that project? What partnerships are you doing? Partnerships are finished now. No one's talking about making a partnership with boxing or making a partnership with racing or anything like that, or making partnership with freaking I don't know. I'm trying to think of random football or whatever. No one's doing that now. You know, all of a sudden it's now like we are building. Like, yeah, like building, but like at least be open, be like show the fucking the community you actually really genuinely believe in your project. And I'm telling you, no one really believes in the project. This game is all about I'm gonna make my money and I will run away. And you've seen over and over again how devs actually and hackers come involved and devs come in and look for example MCC. I was involved in MCC. I got in a 10 million market cap. It did a 20x. I remember that really well. I was seeing really nice. Not too far from a million on that as well. Had a fat stash on that. Listen to this now. I had a fat stash on this, right? And I added more because I had a certain amount that I could actually have. Yeah, a certain amount of allocation, right? That I had, and so it was launched at 10 million market cap and whatnot, and it started rallying up as well. We had the marketing going on X, Y, and Z, right? And then what happened was the dev disappeared. He done one. Look at this. It was a legitimate project as well, and I really genuinely believed in the project. It was going to be something quite massive with the whole node thing. It was massive. It was going to be big. But what happened was the dev didn't even come into the spaces for 2 weeks in it. So people start catching on, and then like he was called out. He was called out on it on Twitter publicly. And what happened is the dev responded to the tweet, right? Not responded, replied to that tweet, but he made a tweet on his own account, talking about how he's rearranging things around, blah blah, and he believes that he's gonna do it. Basically, what he's trying to say is that he's gonna do it himself. Like he's gonna do the whole thing by himself. He's gonna run the project himself. He doesn't need any help. That's what he really said. And by doing that, he had a lot of team members who actually put in a lot of effort and time in there, and who had big stash of money in there. What they did is like, you know what? If that's the case, then it doesn't work like that. And what happened is the guys who actually put in big money in there, they start cashing out. I was asleep when this happened. I remember I woke up with a phone call. I had woke up to a phone call, and the price dropped like 50%. It was a fat candle. So like someone sold like a huge stash, right? The huge stash, and they exited the market in one go, or however it was as well. Rightfully so. If you think like, because if it's going to be a community, right? If you're going to build it as a community, why are you now talking about how you're going to do this on your own? And what happened was it started dumping, and when it started dumping, I cashed out at a loss. I cashed out at a loss. I was thinking, okay, maybe it's gonna be recovering. I really thought it was gonna recover because it was a genuine project. It was a genuine project. He had a lot going for it as well. And yeah, I cashed out at a loss on this one. A bit of like a bit of scratch itself, but like it is what it is, isn't it? So you still cashed out at a loss. And the community, if you look at MCC now, the community is dead. It's completely dead. No one believes in it. So when you got like when you got influencers, not influencers, when you got like a team, right, who believe in their project, that's one thing in it. But do they really believe in that project? So this person in particular, the dev for MCC, believed that he could do it himself. You need a team. You're always gonna need a team, but it just so happened that he fucked up, in my opinion. And we all got fucked over. MCC, no one talks about it, and you know, like it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But I'm just giving you these as an example for you to remember for the next run. Like I said, write this stuff down because I'll forget. I say so much shit I don't even know what I'm saying, and like a lot of alpha stuff I say, I don't even know the fuck I'm talking about, and I'm not gonna go back on my videos and go check it out what I said for you guys. So when I say these things, write it down. Get a diary, write it down, put it on your phone, on a notes, put it on your computer, whatever, or write in the back of your hand, some shit like that, and then just write it down somewhere. So when it comes to the next run, you've got all these alphas that I've given out to you over the span of a year, 2 years, and whatever, that you can now be prepared for. If this happens, right? Daink said this, so this is a repeat of that. History repeats itself. Always remember, you know, when they say this time is different, it's never different. It's never different. 2017 wasn't really any different to 2021. 2017, we had ICOs. These were private sales. The name changes in 2024. They're gonna have a different name. A different name. Now, there's nothing wrong, but I don't believe there's anything wrong having private sales, getting involved in private sales. The reason why is because you work hard, you build a community in X, Y, and Z, and you know you get yourself in there. Everyone else has the ability to do it. You can do it too, not just me. But like it's like the fact is there's certain things that happen, right, that people forget, but it's still the same. Pump and dumps were happening in bear market in 2018. We're coming back in, like pump and dumps are happening right now. I've shown you like a chart, well, two charts, axes, and I'll show you lit. Those two pumped out of nowhere. I'll give you another one. I'll give you one more as well. As I just remember TRB. TRB was one that just pumped like a motherfucker. Let me show you this on the 1 hour. Look at this pump. This is not natural. That pump here, look, okay, we broke out of there, no problem there. But look at this pump where we pumped all the way up to. Do you think that's normal? Like from like $16 over here, right? Well, let's say from here, $12 to $29. That's more than 2x. That's nearly 3x we've done. That in a span of like what? Fucking Monday. From the Monday itself, 28 to in the span of in the span of a day, 24 hours. You're telling me pumps 2x, nearly 3x. That's not fucking normal. It's all pump and dumps, man. Fine. If you do find them, get ready to short it. That's all it is, man. That's all I can say to you guys, man. But anyway, let's carry on quickly. What else we got? Hamza in the house, man. Jordan, Bon Biggie, Thomas is in the house. We got Cars in the house as well. Cryptique's here. Bernard, how you doing, my bro? Big man. What's that? Starsky's in the house as well. We got freaking Curtis, I already said. Ed, I appreciate that, my bro. Arquilano, how you doing, my bro? It does taste better than Sigs. Yeah, Pablo Sig Classic. I'll try that out. Did you look at Band? A Band was another one, isn't it? Band was another pump and dump. Look at this. They're all. You see all these pump and dumps right here on the 1 hour. That's not normal. From like what? This is like $2.33 to $2.78. That's the more than 10x. I think yeah, 10x. A 10% move. I think it's like a 20% move there. It's not fucking normal. Be very, very careful with them. So just be cautious here. It was in hyperbolic times here, my guy. KMS, what you say, my bro? Please check Rune. It's good for shorts. I'll have a look in a bit. Just remind me about that as well. All right, Mr. M's in the house. Goonies in the house. Let's go. All right, let's fucking do this, man. We spend a lot of time on this. 25 minutes. Fuck. Right. Dollar index. I was kind of looking for a short on dollar, a long in dollar index, and then go for a short with crypto and stocks. Kind of fucked up my vibe a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? What we've got here is, you see this area here. This was the Asia high, and then what happened is we had a stop run, and it looks like it's coming back down, right? So now that we're saying that we're at resistance here, it's still a potential play to at least, well, we've got this area here, number one. And I would say probably, let's go there. Let's go this. These are the two areas there if we're gonna have a pullback, which means if we're shorting dollar index, we're gonna end up looking for longs on ES, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, right? Potentially playing, right? So we're gonna monitor this out level to level. Any tips to short these on normal candles? Don't call me master, man. Come on. TCX. We'll talk about it in just a moment, actually. So, like, actually, you know what? Let me fucking talk about it. Yeah, I'll talk about it in a bit, in a moment. Let me just do the dollar index and whatnot, and then we get into it, okay? Check QNT, bullish market structure on the weekly. Oh, is it? Nice. That's cold as hell, man. It's -4 in the UK, man. Really, really cold as hell. So, yeah. If we are going to go for shorts then, any retest, break down, play it back into, to take out these lows over here, come back into this base over here. This is the area consolidation we talked about yesterday. And I'm seeing this here. You see this inefficiency here? You can fill this out and see what happens is, do we bounce off it? Do we bounce off it and hold above it and reclaim? I look for longs right there, flip the bias. And if I'm long in the dollar index, I'm going to be shorting Ethereum and US, BTC and ES. Or do we have a deeper pullback and come back into here, into this base of here? This is the last stand candle that send the market back up, right? So at least to retest that, and it feels that more inefficiency on this side over here. So that's all potential moves to be playing out there. So that's the shorting scenario. Where am I wrong completely, right? So I'll be wrong. What the fuck is going on with my Telegram? Just going mad. Let me close this. Quit Telegram. Just pinging off like a motherfucker, man. Trying to focus here, right? Where am I wrong? So if that's the short scenario, is this, right? So if you look at this particular candle here, well, let's have a look. Is it this one here? Yeah, that's what's capping the market here, right at this moment. So if I were to hide this out there, you can see. Let me delete this. Bring this back up here like that. Yeah, if I were to hide all the PA and stuff. Oops, no, it wasn't this. It was this one here. Yeah, you can see that this high is capping the market. We had a deviation, resistance, deviation on the upside, come back up. All this is resistance here. Okay, so as long as acting as resistance, we can say that it's looking to go back down, right? We can agree with that. One thing you can actually say is this. See this area consolidation right about here, this area here. That's acting as a key factor. So we could actually come back up and spike up and break back down and take the shorts back down, right? Which means a long for ES and whatnot. Where I'll be wrong is if we come back up, take out these highs there, come back down, hold support, bullish market structure, then we can take out these highs there and play it level to level. So if I bring in my levels, how do we do it? The first level, it just so happen to be at 25% range. Let me just remove this. That's the first level, will be 25% range. The second level will be once we reclaim, go back up to mid range, 106.3. And then we'll see what happens next as well. Play it level to level. And that's the way that I'll be looking for shorts there, for longs on dollar index. And I'll look for shorts on ES and BTC and Ethereum. Now, BTC and Ethereum is quite interesting now. What we got here is literally on the 1 hour. Just focus on this area. What is the range? Okay, first things first, right? You guys see me talk about this a few times. I'm going to talk about it again as usual. Bro, I got bare love for you, my bro. Besides the Alpha Education Love Story Time. Thank you, bro. Yo, shout out to Bomb Miggy, man. Bomb Miggy's a sick guy. Okay, cool. So we got this high over here. September's high, September's low. Liquidity been taken out. We're pushing up. And what we got here, like, to me, I do think there's a potential play for it to go up to range high, right? I do think it's still on the table there. It's just so happened, right? If I were to delete everything off, right? And just, let me just go on. Let me bring on the 4 hours, right? What I've got here, there we go. Let's see. If I just highlight some of these key areas there, so we've got range low, we've got range high, and we've got the mid range. That's what we're going to focus on, right? I don't really care about anything else. I'm just going to focus on those 2 areas here, right? So we're just going to focus in halves. So now we're thinking, so like this was a consolidation. We broke out of it, come back down, smashed above it, hold above it, we're making higher highs, high highs and whatnot. And all of a sudden now, right, you see this low here? This low has got a hold, right? Made a double bottom there. It's possible that this could be it. Now we go up higher, but I want to see this low hold, because why? We got market structure. Market structure at the moment it's been bullish, right? So if you look at this, you got so let's say here from this low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and this can still be a higher low, and we can still come back up and then pop back down. And then what this is from here is a head and shoulders. The left shoulders over there, the head over here, and we've got the right shoulder over here. That's, as a meme little thing for you guys to, if you guys love your memes and shit. But if I'm looking at it now, right, this is the key factor here. So we've got all this inefficiency on the downside here. When we were over here, a lot of us was actually bullish, looking for a potential play to back up into range high. Instead, we've come back down, and that was this high here was acting as resistance. That's a deviation. So now we're playing on the downside. We got back below here. At the same time, this is where we're finding resistance. We're finding resistance off this low here. So we're capped in this area here. In this area here, so that you want to play a bit more cautious. So what I mean by cautious is this. So if I highlight this properly, what you've got there is let me do this one here. Yeah, let's do it like that. Let's do it like that, okay? Between these two spaces over here, right? This is like a dead man zone. So here, what I mean by dead man zone is that the price is just actually acting between these two areas here. There's no direction here. There's no clear direction. Are we going to go back down lower, or are we going to go back up higher? There's none. So when you get into these two areas here, it's all a dead man zone. So here is an area you can scalp. So from the high here, play back down to the range low, play back up to range high. That's what I like to do on a dead man zone. Just looking at on lower time frames, seeing where I can get to scalps here and there. Okay, what's going on, Ken? How you doing, brother? KMS. What's wrong with KMS? What does KMS means? One second. KMS. Let me delete all that for a second. You're making me think it KMS meaning. Oh shit. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. Well, let's not say. Fuck that. Okay. Yeah. Let's not say that. I'm gonna call him enterprises. What's going on, Enterprise? How you doing? Shit, man, I'm getting too old for this stuff, innit? So, playing back into the levels there. So this is what we're looking for. So now, if we're in a dead man zone, right? Bro, if you keep asking for rune and stuff like that, I've seen it a few times. I did say to you guys once, like, I'll do it later on, innit? Just let me go through dollar index. TCX ask about if I can actually have a look at another coin. One second. TCX, he asked. Oh yeah, he asked for how will we short these scam pumps and stuff like that. And I said to him, let me do the dollar index and whatnot, and I'll get back to you. So I will get back to you. So please don't piss me off, innit? Like seriously, otherwise I'll boot your ass off. Fucking hell. Just keep pumping his fucking rune. I'm not gonna do rune now. Actually, fuck it. I'm not gonna do rune. I'll do anything else but rune. I don't like when people actually tell me do this. I'm asking this. Bro, I fucking saw it the first time. Don't fucking keep doing this over and over again. I ain't no fucking dickhead for no one. Fuck yourself, man. Fucking prick. Everyone wants something, man. Everyone wants something. That's the thing is. No, bro, just stop talking, man. Honestly. Just stop talking. Dude, like I'm gonna mute you if you keep talking because you kind of piss me off now. Fucking like I do this at my own spare time. I don't need to fucking do this. If you're gonna ask me do this, I'm asking. Bro, we saw you. I've seen it happen to SC a lot as well. Like people just beg. Like he's seen it. Trust me, he's seen it. He's not blind. I'm not blind. If we were blind, if I was blind, I wouldn't be charting here. I fucking wouldn't be able to see this shit, innit? Fucking hell, man. Yeah. I'm generally, I do think I'm generally a decent person. I don't think I'm a good person. Or a great person. I think I'm a decent person. And to sit here every single day for 125 times, that itself says a lot. I think it shows my commitment and my respect to you guys. But if you're not showing me respect in return, I don't see why I should actually carry on then. Anyway, so yeah, we're talking about fucking S&P. So where was I? I lost my fucking mojo. No worries, man. No need to actually talk about if he's got manners or not. Like if we have manners, we don't talk about it. We move on. Okay. Thank you, Goonie. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Jeffrey. Thank you, Adolfo. All right, cool. Let's get back to work, right? And then we carry on. All right. So appreciate that, Stone One. So yeah. So what we got here, right? So we got this dead man zone, right? So thank you, Ken. Dead man zone, yeah. So that's where I think that's where I left off. So we got a dead man zone to scalp off. So if I were to, before I actually zoom into this dead man zone here, I just want to talk about once we step back up in terms of confirmation play. Once we step back into this area here, we can play it back to the mid, from the mid into this area here. From the mid, we play back up to the high. If we break down from the mid, send it back down, cut the trade, take the shorts back down to the range low. This dead man zone, we're still in no position here. Once we break out the dead man zone on the downside, do something like that, you know, well, hang on a second, we've come down here, we're finding resistance off there. Break down below here, that's your confirmation because we're below the mid range. Still out, start filling out all this inefficiency there. Then we start playing on the downside over here and then over here, and we'll see what happens next. And then from there, do we do something like this? Come back down, do this, retest the mid range, and then play back down. This is fucking scary, I ain't gonna lie to you. And what happened is if I were to remove all these lines, right? What potentially can come about is that this was all just a deviation. That's just a deviation of the range, and it's a fucking horrible one as well. And we can play it back down, but we don't. First thing is we don't want to see us lose this area. That's the key factor, right? The key factor is once we lose this, like, because the market structure at the moment it's still bullish, but if we lose this low here, the market structure shifts. I mean, if I were to do a trend line from here, what do we have? We're still at pretty much support in its own way. I mean, yeah, you can say that's. Can I use this one? Yeah, I can use this one here. I think that makes the most sense. So it's still at support. So if it's at support here, we're gonna have a bit of a grind. We're gonna have a bit of a grind. I want to see us react up to get back into this low here. Then we can say, yeah, time to long the shit out of it. Otherwise, what could happen is if we do something like this, come back into it, range bound, dead man zone, break down. That's your confirmation. Play it back down to mid range. Play it back down to level into these areas here as we go, as we explained. Okay. Water, stone one. It's just water. It's like I used to drink a lot of Coke, fam. Fucking out, man. I put on my stomach was coming out and shit like that, man. My 8-pack started becoming 4-pack. 4-pack became 1-pack, and then I became fucking beer belly. Yeah, man. It's like, do you know how bad it is when you go to your mum and your mum it doesn't even look you in the eye. She just looks at your stomach and she's like, Z, what happened? That's the fucked up thing in your life. Then you know you fucked up. Then you know you really have fucked up. So I was like, okay, cool. We've got to change this around now. My mom's brutal, man. My mom's brutal. She has no filter. When it comes to me, she has no filter whatsoever. I love her to bits in it, but fucking hell, mom, man. You gotta chill out, man. What did I do to you in it? Fucking hell, mom's in it. You love them, you hate them, they piss you off, but they're your moms, innit? Big up to moms. Anyway, so yeah, so that's the play for the longs and the shorts on ES. Very, very key factor here, right? So if I were to look at the dead man area, let's have a look at this. On the 1 hour, it just so happened that was the range low. So if I were, let's just do on the 15. Let's see what we got here. Right. The dead man zone was where they post the fucking dead man zone 4 hours. You can see everything is pivoting off this low, off this high. Everything is actually pivoting off here. And with a deviation here, right? And all this is acting as support. But that's not looking good. The 4 hours is looking bad. The 4 hours is coming off here, man. This really is looking terrible. Let me drop it to the 1 hour and see what's going on. I need to focus on this for a moment, actually, because like the reason why I got to focus a little bit more in depth is because the market is undecisive. It's really, really one of those moments where it's a fucked up situation that we got here. So if I look at this as an area, right? So let's just have a look at this. So let me just mark out this area. Okay, so this consolidation over here, right? This consolidation here broke out, retest, 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 come back down, retest, right? So the first low, right, from here, the first low became here. That's the first, oops. That became the first low. So that's where we stuck at. We're stuck between these two areas here. That's the problem here. So if I drop it down to 15 minutes, what do we have? To be able to scalp this, it's going to be a little bit trickier. Yeah, no, I don't want auto. What's capping the market? Let's use some SRs, man. So we've got this low here, and we've got this low here. That's where we capped that. So do we spike up, come into this area, come back down, take the shorts, back into the mid-range, play back down to range low. From here, I'm hoping for from some support. Why? Because this is the last down candle over here that sent the market back up there. So I want to see the bounce off here. breaking market structure on the upside, play it back to the mid to range high, and then you keep bouncing it in and out until we have a breakout on the upside or a breakdown on the downside. That's what you'll be doing. So that's ES pretty much. Nothing much to say. Bitcoin dominance. I want to have a look at that quickly. Come on, where's my line? Oh, there it is. So let's go to 1 hour. So Bitcoin dominance is pushing up. It's showing gradual increase of a bullish market structure. So look, see these higher highs, higher lows. We're showing these gradual increases as well. So where we don't want to lose this low here, that's what it is. And if Bitcoin dominance is shooting up, what that means is that we're actually playing. So Bitcoin the price of Bitcoin will tend to drop as well, and EBTC will collapse on its own as well. So we've got a range bound environment that's going on right here. Let's just drop it down to the 4. Right, got a range bound environment from this low here. I'm using swing highs and swing lows, right? And you can see quite perfectly how this mid range holds. Resistance here originally, come back up, support, gets up, comes back down, finds deviation there, resistance, sells off, right? Comes back down into this area of consolidation right there, right? Bounces up. Well, if I were to draw it, I think it makes a bit more sense. Use this high in particular. You can see how we actually bounce into it. So come back deep. We don't take out the lows over here. Shows bullishness. Finds support off here one more time. Double top there. It takes out the highs there. Comes back into the mid range. Once we smash above the mid range, we have a bit of a deviation. Hold above it. Bit of a deviation on the downside. We've gone back up to the 75% range, which means that if we're coming back there level to level, I'm quite happy for it to come back into this area here. Come back down. Hold above it, which means BTC can actually. I think BTC range band's a little bit longer. I think BTC range bands a little bit for a little bit. So like if BTC the dominance come back down, holds up into it, I think we go back up to the 75% range, and then we go back to the range high itself, and then from there I think the target will be here. That's the next set of targets, taking out these highs there. So that's not looking too great. So going to BTC, what we've got here, I've got a range bound environment I was looking at. See the 4 hours, right? Small body candles, right? So you guys must have heard it quite a few times. Small body candles becomes to big body candles. Expansion is going to come. It's going to come eventually. If I were to hide all this, what we capped on the 4 hours, you start to break it down. You got to look for the candle that's capping the whole thing, right? And to me, it's this low is here is capping the market. That high is capping the market. That's where we're stuck at. So if I want to take a scalp play, I can scalp play between this higher. But look here, this is around the mid range. Mid range is probably about here. And we're capped at the mid range. That's not fucking good. So let me just draw a fucking get a clean chart. Let me get a clean chart. BTC USD. Fuck off. BTC USDT. KuCoin. Let's use the KuCoin chart. Right. If I were to see this, right, as a let's have a look. So we've got the 4 hours here. The 4 hours is very different. So using the 8 o'clock range. 8 o'clock range. Binance is slightly different. Okay, let's use the 8 o'clock range. Doesn't really matter. So along the lines of that, BTC USDT. Richard, my guy, good to have you here, man. Yeah, it's gonna be because PMI. That's right. PPI is coming out tomorrow. So everyone's anticipating a PPI. So I think so it's gonna be an interesting thing tomorrow. But if I were to range band this, it will be this high to this low there, approximately there. Let's drop it down to the 1 hour. Change this into red so I know it's the 4 hour range. And you can literally see, let's drop it on the 15. You can literally see how this has been working out. It's actually range bound in here quite comfortably here. So what you got here, let me just make this bigger so you guys can see. What you guys got here is you got the low, you got the high, and you see this cap resistance, deviation, support. And this mid-range here is acting as a madness at the moment there. So if you want to take a trade right now, we're coming to the mid-range. I won't take a long here because we're coming to the mid-range, which will be acting as resistance. If I want to take a trade on the 15 minutes, how would I look for it? It's something like this. So you see this high here, right? Let's use this. This is this high itself, right? Let's use this high. If price gets back up, does something like this, hold above it, I can take a trade, right? Confirmation, that would be the confirmation to play back up to 75% range and then back to range high. that I'll be looking for targets and then swing it back down, right? Whatever the deviation is, whatever like the wicks are, swing it back down to the mid-range, play it back down to range low. And we just keep ping-pong it up and down. So once we come back to range low, for example, then what you do, let it do its thing, steps back into the range, play it back up, mid-range, back to range high. And you just keep doing this, ping-pong the shit out of it non-stop. That's the pretty much the scalp. It's a very, very, very slow grind up, actually. There's not much movement going on. I mean, we've been stuck at that same price for like 10 seconds now. So, or whatnot, which is kind of shit. So it's not really doing anything. So would I take a trade aggressively? No, not so much actually. But if I were to bring up my own charts over here, let's see what we got here. We're finding resistance at Monday's mid-range range low. Right, so let's just make a plan how we're going to take a long and how we're going to take a short. All right, so let's just expand that. We're finding resistance in the mid-range now. All right, we're at the 75% of the range, no problem. So how would I play this? Let it do its thing. Now we know there's a range band environment over here, which we just discussed this, right? We discussed this actually at range banding itself, whatnot. All right. The second thing is what I'll do is to look for a breakout, because look, this is on the 4 hours just here. You can see it's all small body candles, right? These small body candles will lead to an expansion. So if I drop it to the 15 minutes, how do I make a plan? Let it do its thing, right? I know this high here, right, it's a bit of a ball ache here. If I were to actually be a bit more stricter, I'd be looking at this. So a bit of a consolidation here, over here, send it back down, resistance, 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 resistance. All this is resistance. We haven't had a clean candle above. If you have a clean candle above here, then what I'd be like to do is see what the price come back down, hold support, take the long there. Invalidation will be here, for example, to play it back to 75% or 25, and then see if we can take out these highs over here. In a way, there's like, I mean, we did a stop run there. I don't want to see this high to be taken out, to be honest, if I'm going to be bearish, but it can come up there and still make the lower high on a higher time frame. Come into the weekly range high, which also comes into the monthly open. I'll just drag that across, approximately the monthly open, and see how we react. If we starts breaking, I mean, we could come back up, spike into here, come back down, and then we play it back down to range low. If we hold above the monthly open, we're looking to take out liquidity on Monday's high. That's the thing that we need to keep an eye on. Liquidity wise, let me explain that to you briefly. So we've taken out Monday's low, right? And if we step back in, right, and hold into it, play back to mid, reclaim the monthly open, we can play it back to 75, and then what we'll be looking for, the magnet in price, will be taking out liquidity here. From there, I think it's time to break out on the upside. That's what's going to end up happening as well. So we'll see what happens as well. It's a make or break, so be very cautious in terms of trading. I wouldn't take any trades at the moment until I get a confirmation on the upside. That's the truth. If I was looking at the downside, how would I look at it as well? Well, we know we got a range here. So if we look at this, we'll do like this. I mean, you can see price is just holding onto this pretty much. I mean, I'm making this up as it is. Let me just zoom in. What's the key thing I want you to focus on is this area. For shorts is this area, 16480. 16480 will be the mid range of what do you call it, the weekly range itself. So if I were to take a trade, how would I look at it as well? Is I look for horizontal play. So that's my horizontal play there. That's what's holding the market at the moment. So let it do its thing, whatever it wants to do. Once we get back down below it, find resistance, breaks down. Like here will give me my confirmation, because we're making lower lows, to take out this liquidity down here. And then as long, because what I don't want to see is we do a stop run. If we do a stop run for this, right, that'll be target 1, right? So if we, that'll be target 1. Now, if we spike into it and then spike back up and hold above it, cut the trade, we're going to go back up, right? It looks like we're going to go back up as it is. If we get back below it, right, break it down. This is now your next set of trade to go back to target 2, which is 1480. And that's it. That's pretty much the trade itself. 1480, if I look about it as well, you might want to front run it, in my opinion. Front run it into these highs itself. And we'll fill out all this inefficiency on the downside there. Like, to me, as a range bound environment, it would make sense to come back to mid-range as a general consensus. Why? Because it's still a range bound environment in terms of this is the range itself. We've got the low, we've got the high, and we've got a deviation. We've got a deviation there, a deviation there. That's already telling me that's a deviation. We're below the monthly open. It's bearish below the monthly open. So we can always look for shorts anyway. And so we come from the high, play it back to the mid and see how it works the mid. If it was to be bullish, then we can actually play it back there and take the longs and looking for the breakout on the upside. Otherwise, if it comes back into the range low, then we're sending it back down to 25 and back to 15.8. Then 15.8 will be a nice trade there. I'm selling my Ethereum short. Oh fuck, cramp in my fucking leg. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm selling my Ethereum short. Growing at the moment. I'm in decent profit actually. I'm in some really good profits there. What I don't want to see right off the bat, right? Let's go on the 4 hours. I don't want to see this high being taken out, right? Let me explain that to you. So if we look at market structure, let's go on the 2 hours actually. It might be a bit more easier to read. So if you see a market structure here, we got the high here. So you know we made these high highs, high lows, high highs, right? On this time frame now, we are doing a shift in it. So we got a high, a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and we make a lower low here. So we've broken this here, and that's where we're getting capped out. So this is where it gets interesting. Monday's high comes in about here. This is where Monday's high is. Monday's low. Monday's low was coming out here. No, that's not right. Tuesday. Yeah. Monday's low was here. Right? And this is the key low here. Right? This is the lower low. Right? The lower low here. Right? So as we explained, that's the fucking there. We took out the lows here, we took out the lows there, and we can't take out these highs there. We're showing bearish market structure. Everyone should be able to agree on that one. So now again, if we step back into here, it'll become a dead man zone, right? Because we're stuck between this key low here and we're stuck between the Monday's low itself. If I want to be bullish, right, how would I actually do this? Is look, if I draw out Monday's range, that's Monday's low, Monday's high, and the mid range comes in about just over here, around there, approximately, maybe a little bit lower. Let's just do a little bit lower, about here. That's where the mid range is, and what we're looking for is for confirmation for longs is literally step back into the Monday's low. Then I'll be looking to play it back into the mid range, from the mid range play back to range high. If we start taking out this high here, we shift, then we shift market structure. We've broken market structure on the higher time frame. This is on the 2 hours, and we have to start looking for longs there. So any pullbacks into the mid range, unless it's a wick back into it, then we find resistance and play back to range low, and then that's what we're looking for. But we're taking out Monday's low liquidity over here. Is this a deviation? We don't know. But at the moment, as long as this is holding, it's still resistance. So resistance can still become it's a sign to actually short the market as long as resistance is holding. So what's holding the market though at the moment is really funky. Is literally this down candle here. That very down candle there, you can see how price is capped here. Again, we got one dead man zone here and got another dead man zone there, right? We might, if we do spike into it, I think it would be probably be a fast spike. But if we do range band in here, you can just range band off Monday's low and this low here. Okay, at the moment, again, this is all range band environment, just literally scalping and minor little trades there. There's nothing much more to it as well. But what could happen is, like, if I want to take shorts itself, whoops, let me just delete that and bring that back up. If I want to take a short, right, bringing out my levels there, where's the mid range of that weekly range? Let's have a look. It comes out just right below here. Let me change the color. This is the range low, and this is the range high. And then that's mid range. And there we go, range low. So if I want to take confirmation for shorts in it, right? If you're not in the short, let it do its thing. Once we come back down, find resistance off that block, get below the mid range, bearish market structure, take the shorts, right? Oops. Take the shorts, right? Hard stop would be around here, for example, and you're targeting this area here. I'd say you can front run it as target 1. That'll be your target 2. Target 1, target 2, and then once we get back below it, go back down to 1130, and that'll be target 3. And that'll be my final target there. And this is all a range band environment between the highs and the lows of the weekly range. That's pretty much I'm looking at. It's a really shitty ass market today. I think it's gonna be a dead day only because of PPI tomorrow. That's what I'm thinking is possible right now. I don't really have a clear read on what to do. I mean, if I were to look at little trades in here and there, let's have a look. 1 hour. From here to there. Right, let's drop it down to 15. One second, guys. Fuck it down, man. What's going on here? Let me lock this. Alright, cool. Let's have a look. Let me just mark these levels. Right, cool. So if I were to trade this, right, I mean, it's a short here for me. Why? Because we found resistance here, found resistance here, found resistance here. It's a lower high. Once we lose this low here, this is a confirmation for me to play it back down into the mid-range. From the mid-range, see what we do, get back below, play it back down to the range low. And then from here, ping pong the shit out of it. It's all literally day little scalp play we can play back into range high. That's pretty much it for day trades, really. I mean, like a little scalp plays. There's nothing much more clear than that, to be honest. I thought I had a clear read on dollar index. I generally did think that I did, but I don't. I don't have a clear read on it. That's the honest truth. I mean, I wish I was a lot more confident. But I've got to say, this could be the high of the day. The dollar index is showing me that this is well potentially the high of the day, and the low of the day, was here. So that's the low of the day. I'm talking about the UK time zone itself. So we can come back down here and hold above it and play back to the mid range. It's a ping pong. We're at resistance though. That's the fucking shit, man. And then PPI is the thing that's coming out tomorrow. So really and truly, it's just literally day trades, man. Look for day trades, nothing else. Let me answer some questions, and then we can move on. So for example, so someone asked me about TCX asked me how would one short the market when he does something like that. Let me find a fucking coin. So let's go to lit. Right, I'll give lit as an example. Now lit, right, and these on the higher time frames are fucked up, right? So if I would go on the 15 minutes, right, I'll start looking for so I know I got my levels. I know I got, this is the mid range, that's 75% of the range highs, right? So I've already got my range in preparation, and I start looking at what's going on. So I look at the 5 minutes, right? Let's go on the 1 minute. This is when you have to start looking at 1 minute. It's all scalp plays if you want to catch it, right? This is what you'd be doing. Obviously I can go on to the 30 seconds, but I'm going to give you an example as if you don't have the 30 seconds right there. So you see this up candle here, right? Market structure here was high, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, whatever you want to call it, right? However you want to call it. It's a little bit more difficult. I mean, for me, I feel much more comfortable doing it like this. 1 second. So on the 15 seconds, right? Even on the fucking 15 seconds was tough. But like on the 15 seconds, you see this. See this this high here was capping the market and we closed below it. You know the invalidation is right here. All right, let me give you 2 examples. This is one. All right, so I'll go on to the 5. Even then is fucking shit. How the fuck am I going on the 5 seconds look for a short? You can't look for a short here. But the principle still stays the same, right? So you look for, what you do is when price gets up, right? You look for the last up candle there. So let's say, you look for the last up candle there, and you mark out the low. When you mark out the low, you see how we react. See how we find resistance, 5 seconds in, 10 seconds in, 15 seconds in, and then you see this low here. Once we lose this low here, and we had a clean smash below, then that's your confirmation, and you can put a stop loss over here or a hard stop there, right? That's what you do, and you play it back down to level play. That's one way to do it itself. Another way, let's see ban. Maybe ban, I can get something out of it in the 5 minutes. Because the TRB one was just unnatural, right? Where's the spike up? Yeah, so we've got a spike over here. So if you want to catch this, right, how would you play this? Let's go back onto the 1 minute. Fucking hell. Right. So first things first, you're looking at this, right? And you see how this high here was a pivot, right? So even if you're late, right? Even if you're late, right, and you want to take an entry, you can still take an entry over here, right? And you can put a stop loss here or put a stop loss there, right? Like your invalidation will be there because that was the high. That's the lower low, lower high becomes the lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and whatnot. So you're still market structure working out there. So what you do, you can mark out the up candles, down candles, the base of it and whatnot. Or you can use a pivot, for example, if you missed this out or there. Or you can just, because some of you guys might not want to enter in quite aggressively. Some of you guys actually want to enter in under confirmation. So this is one example here. So you find this high here, which is the pivot, resistance, resistance, resistance. This is all accumulation, and you can see the grind up there. People like these pump and dumps were buying it. They were buying it as they had buyers, you know, to support the push up there, and that's how they organized it themselves. And once we come back down, right, so you got the high over there. Let me just fucking make this. Let me draw this line here. There we go. So you see how this area here, this consolidation over here, right? It's giving you signs of it already. So once we lost this low over here, come back down, we retested there. You could have entered in with a stop loss over here, right? Again, invalidation will have to be at the top. That's far away, but if you're scalping it, you're going to play it quite tight. Stop loss there, playing it back into the range low. Once we get back onto the pivot, under the pivot itself, and then what you're looking for, look, come back down into it. You see this base of consolidation right there? Let me delete this. See this area consolidation right over here? That's the consolidation when we got back below it, closed below it, came back to retest it, and we closed underneath it. And that means you could have entered in with a stop loss here, playing it back down low to the next level. So you're looking for like levels that should break down. That's what you're looking for. Seems ETH will do a stop run to 1210s and then move into 1280s. It's a very fucking difficult thing to say. It's honestly, I wish I had a clear read. I really do wish I had a clear read on this. I don't have a clear read on this. I think everyone's is anticipating the whole fucking situation that's going to go tomorrow. That's what they're looking for. But it's a shit show in my opinion. There's nothing much more to say. I mean, I'm quite happy to sit on my hands if I need to sit on my hands. We'll see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Atom. Let's have a look at Atom. Right, so see Atom, right? This is where I'm a bit cautious about this now. Right? So what we got here, this is the what I've got monthly. We'll step back into this range here. Like the guys in DCC know exactly what I was talking about. We talked about Atom, shorting Atom back then, and as you can see, it was one of the alt sessions that we did a while back as well, and that was August high, and I was talking about coming back up. Oh yeah, this is range bound environment. I still remember this, man. I didn't take the trade actually. And you can find it. It's all this range bound environment, whatever. Okay, so August is higher, whatever. Let me delete all this. Delete some of this shit here, and we'll just talk about Atom quickly. So let me drop to the monthly and see what we got. All right. So where's the range bound environment? So the range really was here. We were capped here for 2 months. Atom looks good. It's going to go back down. Atom looks quite bad though. You see this candle here? Right? What did we say about this in the DCC? This is a bullish thingy, bullish order block. Come back down. We want to find it a support. Instead, we come back in. We had this little faint close below, which could be. It's not proven to be a breaker yet, but this could well be a fucking breaker, which is not looking good. We're still stuck in this range bound environment, in my opinion. There's a swing long. I wouldn't long this. Let me go on the monthly. There's a swing long. I wouldn't long this, in my opinion. What I've got here is a range bound environment. We're stepping back into June's range. So that's up there. June, that's purple. So I know what's going on. And you can clearly see on the weekly. Let's have a look. How we're finding resistance. That's a swing short, fam. That's a swing short. That's a short to me, right? I mean, look, could we, it's possible, do this, right? This is let's go on the daily. Right? So we are stuck in here. Okay, so we got the range band here. We're coming out to mid range, to range high. We're finding resistance at each time. What we're finding resistance is from this particular area here. You see that? That's the area that we found. Now, if I want to for confirmation, I want to get back below here. That's the confirmation. So, do we push back up, right? Which I'm quite happy to do so. And we just push back up and do something like this. I'm happy to take a short and I'm playing it back down into, well, target 1 will be here, target 1 will be here, target 2 will be here, all right, taking out this low. Once we get back below here, then this is the confirmation for the thingy for us to go a lot more lower. Mid-range, from the mid-range, play back down to 75, and then back to range low to $5.50. I think that's what's going to happen. That looks fucking shit, man. I mean, I would front run the whole thing to here, up this low here. That's what I would actually do. I mean, market structure itself it's looking like a bag of shit. And this is on the daily. I mean, like, you can see how this was working out. You can see this low here. So we were hoarding, and you couldn't make this up. I mean, let me just tighten it up there. There you go. What you got here, support, deviation over there, come back there, break out of it, retest, come back down, lower low, come back up. Don't take out these highs. Still makes a lower high, lower low, and makes a lower high, lower low. This the lower high for us to make a new lower low. Very possible. Market structure is looking shit, to be honest, in Atom. Yeah, it doesn't look too great in my opinion. So I like to see how we react in this particular area here, around here. Do we get a push up? I'm quite happy for a push up there. Do something like this. Take the swing short, play it back down as well. As long as we don't take out this high here, I'm quite happy to put an aggressive stop loss here, to be honest, and then play it back to mid, back to low. Really, that's what I'm looking for. Atom. Where would I be wrong? Well, if we take out this high, which I'm looking for as my invalidation level, right? Then what I'm looking for is once we come back up, hold above it, play the market back up into here, well, into this high there, and then into this area there, and maybe squeeze it into, yeah, I'll play into this low here. Yeah, into this. These will be the targets there. Target 1, target 2, target 3. Mask. Let's have a look at mask. Mask USDT. See, mask, right? It's one of those motherfuckers, isn't it? Because see, I'm gonna be honest with you. With mask, right? Like I can't really have a very clear insight on this. It's like Doge, isn't it? It's a fucking it's botched by Elon Musk. No shit. It's like it's not botched. That's the wrong word for it. It's what you call it? It's fucking backed by Elon Musk with the whole Twitter thing. So these kind of things I don't want to actually be fading so much. But if I were to look at it as from a monthly perspective, right? This is what we've got here. I mean, monthly wise, let's go look at the quarterly. Start with quarter. Quarter, okay, that makes a lot more sense now. So we've got this high here to this low there, all right? And let's just change that into green so I know that's the quarterly range. Okay, so let me drop it down to the monthly. And look what's happened in the monthly. We popped into the mid-range, did a little bit of a peekaboo over here. Looks like a deviation in my opinion. We're finding resistance, right? Finding resistance at the mid-range. So, like, if I want confirmation, right, I want to close below here. That's what's holding the market at the moment right now. So I'm quite happy for us to come back down, break it back down to here, and then play it back into this consolidation, and then squeeze it back down to range low. That's what I'll be looking for mask. Where would I be wrong playing on the upside? So let's just narrow it down onto the weekly. Let's see what the weekly looked like. Weekly, it's popped. Oh, fucking hell. You couldn't fucking make this up, man. So, you see this area here? Oops. This area here, that's where it's actually finding resistance. You see this consolidation right here, broke down, retest, do a bit of a deviation into it, come back down, and all we've done is a retest, and we're playing back down lower. So do we go back low? I mean, like, for me to go like as a target there, I want to see us do this then. This is on the weekly. Fuck that. Let's go on the daily. Drop it down on daily. That's what we got. Yeah. So it's literally this then. Right over here. Right. So the consolidation right here. Right. Come back down. Retest. Come back down. Held the mid range, quarterly range itself, came back down to low. We popped back up into the range high, and look how dead this has been for so long. We popped back up, and it's only because of the whole Twitter situation as well. And now, like, do we come back down into this basic consolidation? So if I were to highlight the consolidation, would be around this, this low here to this high there. Yeah, let's put it here. Let's put it like that, right? And do we do this now? So now for shorts, play back into here, break down, play it back into target 1, and then target 2, and then target 3. See if we can, if we step back into this range here, play it back down into the mid-range back to range low within this range here. And that's what I'm looking for. How would I be in if I wanted to look for longs? How would I do it? Is that resistance here? Quarterly resistance, by the way. So be very careful there. If we step back up and hold above this, take out this high there. That's what's capping the market, this particular high. That's the pivot. hold into this. This is my confirmation for me to take a long back into this area here, and then we go into target 2 and target 3. That's how I'll be looking for mask. Thank you so much for that, Cryptique. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, most of the alts don't look good, man. It just doesn't look good. I mean, what I would like to do later is just go through a couple of alts and see what we're looking at. I mean, you can see this is fucking shit bag, man. Like, you know, we're back into this. This is the range high here. This is ADA, man. I mean, like, a lot of you guys might be pro ADA and whatever. I don't know. I don't know how you guys are feeling about ADA, but sure on the weekly. It looks like I mean, we can get a push up. Look at ADA. This is the high and this is the low. This is the mid range, right? And you can find resistance at mid range. All good. Happy days. We'll come back to the 75% range. We're holding support there. What we could do is pop back up, right? Play it back into the range high. I mean, I'd say target 1 here and then target 2 there. See what we do once we get back up. Break below it. Find resistance. Short the shit out of it. Back to target 1. Back to mid range. See if we can come back into this area here. This is the base of consolidation which happened for about a year, about nearly 2 years, actually 2 years worth of consolidation. That's why we're looking to take targets as a swing play. That's ADA. I mean, I can do the same for everything, like for a lot of shit. BNB, let's look at BNB. It's still below that mid range. We're finding resistance off it. So that Monday low. So if I draw on the 15, it's looking at Ethereum. So Ethereum and Bitcoin is going to be the key driving factor. There's not very much clear read on the market there. In all honesty, I'm going to be honest. If I'm not going to bullshit my way through and say, yo, listen, blah blah, this is looking good. But it's not too great in my opinion. It's not too great. If we step into Monday's low, we'll have to take the low, take the highs back into these areas there, into Monday's 25% range. Otherwise, if we get back below here, I'm keeping my shorts and keep going on that on the downside. Rune, let me ask Rune. I mean, it's been requested a few times, so let's do it. Rune, let's have a look at Rune. Month. Looks fucking crap, man. Fucking hell, this is bad. Rune was another one with like a very strong community as well. They wanted to pump it up and whatnot. I mean, I can see like it was supposed to be really good. Don't get me wrong, but that's terrible, dude. I mean, that was the drop from here to there. Jesus Christ, man, 93%. Fucking hell. Really bad. I mean, if you're gonna ask me, like, oh, is it worth accumulating? Nah, it's not worth accumulating. There's gonna be more mess, I believe, that's gonna come around. The Fed pivot, we talked about that yesterday. I do think we're gonna have a really nasty ass motherfucking drop soon. Let me delete all this. I don't need that. So if I look at, you see, this is the thing is, I can't really have a read on Rune. When you get charts like this, right? The only thing I can do is use SRs. I can't use ranges very well because if I look on the monthly, what all we've done, as you can see, right? This is how bad it is. Let me zoom in here. If I were to focus within last month candle, right? November's candle here, what do we do? So this is the high, this is the low, and that's the high. We take out the highs and we close below the low. We're finding resistance at the low here, which to me, if we're finding resistance of October's low, this is resistance to me. So when any breakdown will be a short back to zero. I mean, I'm sorry to say that, but not to zero, but short the shit out of it. That's what I really do think that's gonna happen. If I were to, let's just do it. Let's fuck it. Let's just draw this out about here, there. Put that as monthly, which is purple. Drop it to the weekly. That's what we got here. You can see, man. It's not fucking pleasant to look at. I mean, I can't really say anything that you're taking any longs. I mean, from the lows here, which was like at about $1, we're now going up to like 30%, so which is not bad. But I mean, it could still pop into here, right off this low here, and then find resistance, and play it back down. If it does something like that, I'll take the shorts back down, take out all this liquidity over here, and send this shit to zero. Oops, that's what I'll be looking for in my honest opinion. Weekly doesn't look good. Because look, weekly wise, right? What we've done is we've taken out the weekly high. We're below the weekly high, right? That's orange, so we all know what that is. It's on the daily, right? So that's the weekly high. The weekly mid range comes into. Let's have a look. Copy paste. As 126.1269. Coordinates. right? So that's the mid range there. Let me just dash that out there so you guys can understand. It's going to fuck it. I might as well just do this. So copy paste there, there. Cool. Daily, again, we're grinding on there. Right? Let's go on the 4 hours. Maybe get something clear. Yeah. So daily, what we're doing is we're finding resistance of a particular area. So if I were to focus on this in the 4 hours, how do we actually look at play ball on this actually? So what we got here is, you see this high over here, right? This candle over there in particular. What we got is this so we come back down on resistance, bit of a deviation, resistance, deviation, and we're finding resistance, 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 right? So that's what we're finding, resistance. That spike up that happened within the last hour. Let me just measure where this was. So this high. Here, did it take out the high? So that high comes into 1396, and this one was 1395 for by 1 cent. So it's a swing failure of this high itself. So if I want to take a short, right? I mean, your confirmation would be something. Oh, yeah, that's a bit. Yeah, that'll be confirmation. So if I want to take a short, I mean, where am I wrong? This is my hard stop there. Once we come back down, play it back down to this area here, bounce it back up. Once we get back below here, this is my confirmation to take it back down to the mid-range. From the mid-range, which comes into about 1269. From 1269, we hold above it, bullish market structure, cut the trade, play it back up into these areas here first, and then into this area there, maybe squeeze into here. Or if we actually start losing the area, losing the mid-range, send it back down to range low. There's a bunch of come back down, send it back down, and I would front run it into this area here, off this low here. There, that'll be an ideal trade there for a short. A lot of alts are looking shorts. Honestly, that's the honest truth. A lot of them are looking like shorts, and they're not looking that great. And because they're looking like shorts, I'm gonna sit back a little bit and just wait for it to happen, and show me its hand. I mean, ETH/BTC is bearish market structure. I don't see it being bullish in my opinion at the moment. Got this low here, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. See this low holds. This low at the moment is holding at the moment. Higher high. This is the higher low. Whoops. Higher high. This is the higher low. And what we do is we have a stop run there, right? We have a stop run, and we take out this low there. We close below it. We come back up, and now market structure is shifting. So then that becomes the high. And that becomes a lower low, lower high, lower low. Well, not really lower low actually, because we don't take this out. But you see this bounce over here becomes a lower high. We find resistance off this candle there, this key factor there, and then we make a new lower low. So do we pop up into here? I don't know. Maybe into here. I don't want to see this high be taken out, but once we get back below, play this back down to range low. I mean, at least to a very minimum of this low here, this particular area here. That's what I'm looking for, and then squeeze it back into this blue box here. This blue box here has been support at the moment as we're above it, and then from there we'll see what happens. Do we hold above it and then shoot back up higher, or do we lose this fucking level, go back to the mid range? So it's just not very clear. I'll be honest with you, I don't have a clear read today. This is like one of the first times in a very long time I don't have a clear read on the market. It's just really day trades and little scalp trades. So higher time frame, just be patient. Let the market do its thing. Let it decide where it wants to go, and don't go aggressive until it's necessary as well. At the moment, I don't find any aggressive trade. I was trying to look for an aggressive trade with the guys in the DCC before we actually jumped on here. That's why I was a little bit late, but don't see anything. I don't see much. So I think tomorrow after PPI, it'll be a lot more clear. It'll be a lot more evident on where we're going to be end up moving. So we'll do the stream tomorrow, and hopefully we have a bit more clarity. Plans are there. Hopefully that helps out there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, so you guys have a good day. Stay safe. It is cold outside, and yeah, catch you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody. See you later. I didn't fucking end it. What the